History remembers many presidents, but only a few become legends, and fewer still become symbols of courage. In the dusty heart of West Africa, a young soldier once dared to dream of something radical, something dangerous, a nation that belonged to its people, a country that refused to kneel before foreign powers, a future where dignity mattered more than wealth. His name was Thomas Sankara. To some, he was a hero. To others, he was a threat. But to millions across Africa, he became something far greater, the man who tried to free Africa. Thomas Sankara was born on the 21st of December 1949 in the small town of Yako, in what was then known as Upper Volta. At the time, the country was still under the long shadow of colonial influence. Poverty was everywhere. Resources were controlled by foreign interests, and the political system was designed to serve the powerful, not the people. But Sankara was different from the beginning, quiet, observant, and deeply aware of injustice. As a young man, he joined the military academy, where he quickly gained a reputation for discipline, intelligence, and an unusual interest in politics and philosophy. While many soldiers focused on rank and authority, Sankara spent his time reading revolutionary thinkers and studying global struggles for independence. He admired leaders who believed that true freedom meant economic independence, not just a flag, not just an anthem, but real control over a nation's destiny. By the early 1980s, Upper Volta was a country trapped in instability, military coups, weak governments, and an economy heavily dependent on foreign aid. Sankara believed the country needed something bold, not reform, revolution. In 1983, at just 33 years old, Thomas Sankara seized power in a popular military-backed revolution, but what followed shocked the world. Because Sankara did not act like a typical African strongman. He refused luxury. He reduced his own salary. He sold the government's fleet of luxury cars and replaced them with modest vehicles. He even made government officials fly economy class. Why? Because Sankara believed leaders should live like the people they govern. But his vision went much deeper than personal sacrifice. He wanted to rebuild the entire country, and the first thing he did was change its name. Upper Volta, a colonial label imposed by outsiders, was erased. In its place, Sankara introduced a new name, Burkina Faso. It meant the land of upright people, a name that reflected dignity, pride, and integrity. Sankara then launched one of the most ambitious reform programs Africa had ever seen. In just 4 years, his government achieved what many thought impossible. Mass vaccination campaigns immunized millions of children against deadly diseases. New schools were built across rural communities. Literacy programs began transforming education. But perhaps most revolutionary of all was Sankara's stance on women's rights. At a time when gender equality was rarely discussed in African politics, Sankara declared that women's liberation was essential for true revolution. He banned forced marriages. He outlawed female genital mutilation. He appointed women to high positions in government. And he encouraged women to work, lead, and participate in politics. For Sankara, the revolution was not just political, it was social. But his boldest challenge was directed at something even more powerful, the global economic system. Sankara believed Africa's poverty was not accidental. He argued that colonialism had simply evolved into something new: economic control through debt. In 1987, during a historic speech at the Organization of African Unity, Sankara warned African leaders about the dangers of foreign debt. His words were fearless. He said Africa should refuse to pay debts imposed by former colonial powers because those debts were designed to keep Africa dependent. It was a message that inspired millions, but it also made powerful enemies. Inside Burkina Faso, some elites feared losing their privileges. Outside the country, foreign governments watched Sankara with suspicion. His ideas were spreading. Young Africans were listening, and revolutionary thinking was gaining momentum. Then, on the 15th of October 1987, everything changed. Gunfire erupted in the capital city of Ouagadougou. Within minutes, the revolution that had inspired a continent was violently interrupted. Thomas Sankara was assassinated during a coup led by his former ally, Blaise Compaoré. He was only 37 years old. The man who dreamed of an independent Africa was gone. But something extraordinary happened after his death. Instead of disappearing from history, Sankara's influence only grew stronger. Across Africa, young people began rediscovering his speeches, his ideas, and his courage. They saw a leader who refused corruption, a president who lived simply, a revolutionary who believed that Africa deserved dignity. Today, many still call him Africa's Che Guevara. His image appears on murals, his speeches circulate online, and his story continues to inspire a new generation searching for leaders with integrity. Thomas Sankara ruled for only 4 years, yet in that short time he proved something powerful. Leadership is not about wealth, power, or pleasing the world. True leadership is about courage. The courage to challenge injustice, the courage to imagine something better, and the courage to fight for it, even when the cost is everything. Because sometimes, the most dangerous man in politics is not the one with the biggest army. It is the one with the biggest dream. And Thomas Sankara dreamed of a free Africa.